Okay, Lily, you won't believe the story I've been dying to tell everyone. It's about a prankster, a tree, and some seriously confused neighbors. It all started a few weeks ago, right outside my living room window.
Oh, I'm ready. I heard whispers, like Henry's lost his marbles, he's talking about laughing trees again. Spill it, because I need to know if this is the wildest thing that's happened in our little town this year.
Wildest? Absolutely. So, there's this massive oak tree, right? Oldest one on the block. And one morning, I'm having my coffee, and I hear this giggling. Not like a human giggle, but not exactly an animal sound either. It was playful, and it was coming from high up in the tree.
Giggling from a tree? Henry, are you sure you weren't still half asleep? Or maybe it was just the wind doing weird things with the leaves. Sometimes the wind can play tricks.
That's what I thought at first. But then, later that day, Mrs. Henderson from next door comes over, looking utterly bewildered. She said her prize-winning petunias, which she'd just replanted, were rearranged. Not damaged, mind you, just neatly moved into a completely different pattern. And she swore she heard a soft hee right after it happened.
Okay, that's weird. Petunias don't rearrange themselves, unless she has a very organized cat or a squirrel with an artistic flair.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. But it got stranger. The next day, someone put a tiny, perfectly tied bow on every single one of my garden gnomes. Every single one. And I have like 7 of them. And the bows were made of actual ribbon, not just some random string.
Okay, that's not just a prank, that's dedication. Who has the time to put bows on 7 gnomes? This sounds like something out of a quirky children's book, honestly.
Right? So, by this point, me, Mrs. Henderson, and even old Mr. Abernathy, who usually just grumbles at everything, we formed this impromptu Joker-in-the-Tree investigation trio. We were convinced it had to be one of the neighborhood kids. Messing around during summer break.
Of course. Classic kid shenanigans, trying to stir up trouble, see what they can get away with. Did you have any suspects? Little Timmy down the street? Or those twins, Sarah and Emily?
Oh, we had a whole list. Timmy was high up there. He's a known rascal. Sarah and Emily? Definitely on the radar. We even considered Mrs. Periwinkle's grandkids when they visited. We were staking out the tree, covertly. Sipping lemonade on our porches, pretending to read, but really just watching that tree like hawks.
That's hilarious. So, the neighborhood watch morphed into a prankster hunting squad. Did you catch anyone in the act?
Never. Not a single kid was seen near that tree after dark, or even during the day, acting suspiciously. And the pranks kept coming. One morning, Mr. Abernathy found his garden hose tied into a ridiculously intricate knot. Like a sailor's knot, not just a haphazard tangle.
A sailor's knot. Now that's a new level of prank. That requires skill. Are you sure you don't have a secret knot-tying enthusiast living in your bushes, Henry?
Believe me, we considered everything. We even put out a fake reward for information sign, just to see if anyone would confess or spill the beans. Nothing. Just more pranks. My bird feeder was filled with jelly beans one day. Jelly beans. The birds loved it, honestly, but it was just so bizarre.
Jelly beans. That's actually kind of sweet in a weird way. It's not malicious damage, is it? Just playful chaos.
Exactly. It was never destructive, just incredibly cheeky, and always that soft, almost tinkling giggle coming from the tree. That's what started making us question the neighborhood kids' theory. Kids usually laugh a bit louder, a bit more boisterously.
Good point. And the sophisticated nature of some of the pranks, like the knots, makes you think it wasn't just impulsive mischief. It sounds like there was some planning involved.
Right? So we started thinking, okay, if it's not kids, what is it? Mr. Abernathy was convinced it was ghosts. Mrs. Henderson thought it was some newfangled drone operated by a mischievous teenager from another town. I was leaning towards a particularly clever squirrel, but even squirrels don't tie bows.
A drone. That's a good one. With all the tech these days, you never know. Maybe it was some viral TikTok challenge. Tie bows on your neighbor's gnomes and film their reaction.
We even looked for tiny drone propellers or unusual tech in the tree branches. Nothing. We bought a motion-activated camera, set it up pointing right at the trunk. We waited. Days went by. The camera would trigger for a cat, a squirrel, a passing car, but never for the giggling.
The giggle. Always the giggle. That's the key, isn't it? It's so specific. It sets a certain tone. It's not scary, it's just teasing.
Exactly. And we were getting more and more stumped. Then, one Tuesday morning, the ultimate prank. Mr. Abernathy's perfectly aligned row of garden flamingos, you know the pink plastic ones? They were all turned around, facing the house, each with a tiny, hand-drawn mustache glued on.
No! Mustaches? That's amazing. Okay, now I'm thinking it's definitely not kids, unless they have an art school degree, and tiny scissors and glue sticks at the ready at all times.
It was just so precise. That's when it hit us. Kids might do the flamingos, but the mustaches? And the bows? And the knots? There was a level of finesse that felt different. So the trio decided to go all in. We got binoculars, we set up shifts, like proper detectives.
I can just picture it. Mrs. Henderson with her opera glasses, Mr. Abernathy with his old army binoculars, and you, Henry, probably with some high-tech monocular you ordered online.
You know me too well, Lily. So I took the dawn shift. It was just breaking light, really quiet. And I heard it again. That soft, playful giggle. It sounded almost musical. I slowly raised my binoculars, scanning the branches inch by inch.
Don't leave me hanging, Henry. What did you see? Was it a tiny, mischievous garden sprite? A gnome that came to life? A particularly cheeky owl with a sense of humor?
I saw movement. High up, a flash of white. And then I saw them. 2 of them. They were magnificent, honestly. Long, elegant necks, bright red patches on their heads. They looked like something out of a Japanese painting. They were tsurus, cranes.
Tsurus, like the Japanese cranes, here, in our neighborhood? Henry, that's impossible. We're nowhere near their natural habitat. What were they doing in your tree?
I know. That's what I thought. But there they were. And one of them, I swear, it was holding a tiny, glittering piece of ribbon in its beak. And it was gently, playfully, nudging the other one with its wing. And then, from the other tsuru, came that soft, tinkling sound, that giggle.
No way. You're telling me these incredibly rare, beautiful birds were the masterminds behind the gnome bows, the petunia rearrangements, the knotted hose, and the mustachioed flamingos?
Absolutely. I watched them for an hour. They were playing. They'd pick up little twigs and drop them on people's lawns. One of them actually managed to pick up a tiny, fallen leaf and carefully placed it on top of a small stone as if crowning it. And the giggling? It was definitely them. It was a soft, almost hooting sound, but so light and rhythmic, it perfectly mimicked a child's giggle.
That's incredible, Henry. How did they even get here? And how did they manage to do all that? Their beaks are delicate, but strong, I guess. But to tie a bow? Or glue a mustache?
Well, we figured out the how they got here part first. Turns out, a private sanctuary about 50 miles away had a small flock of tsurus. They had a minor incident during a big storm a few weeks back. A section of their enclosure fence was damaged. 2 of them, being the adventurous type, decided to go on a little sightseeing tour.
So, they just flew off and decided your neighborhood tree was the perfect base for their pranking spree? That is wild. And the objects? The bows, the mustaches?
That's the part that still makes me shake my head. We think they were picking up discarded items, maybe ribbons that fell off a present, or tiny paper scraps with drawings on them. And their beaks are incredibly dexterous. We saw them manipulating small items with astonishing precision, not tying per se, but arranging and nudging things into place. The sailor's knot? Probably just a random, complex tangle of the hose that they fixed into a new shape. And the mustaches? Just tiny, dark leaves or bits of paper they stuck on with some morning dew.
That makes so much sense, actually. It's their natural instinct to build and arrange, isn't it? Nesting, collecting, but to use those instincts for what looks like deliberate, playful mischief. That's just amazing. It's like they were decorating your neighborhood.
Exactly. When I told Mrs. Henderson and Mr. Abernathy, they were absolutely flabbergasted. Mrs. Henderson initially refused to believe it. Birds? Nonsense, Henry. But then I showed them the footage from my phone. I actually managed to get a little video of one of them arranging a small pine cone on top of a fallen leaf.
Oh, you got it on video. That's priceless. That footage needs to go viral, Henry. The mystery of the tree joker, solved by magnificent, playful cranes.
It was truly something. The sanctuary staff came and gently retrieved them a couple of days later. They were just as baffled by their antics, but delighted they were found safe and sound. They said tsurus are highly intelligent and very curious, but they'd never heard of them pranking people like this.
So, for a few weeks, your neighborhood was the unwitting stage for 2 incredibly rare, incredibly mischievous avian artists. That's a story you tell for the rest of your life, Henry, and it totally beats my dog ate my homework any day.
It really does. And you know, it made me think. We were so quick to blame humans, to look for human explanations, but sometimes the most extraordinary things come from the most unexpected places. It certainly made the neighborhood a lot more interesting.
It's a beautiful reminder, isn't it, to look beyond the obvious and to appreciate the sheer joy and unpredictability of nature, even when it's giving your garden gnomes mustaches. What a tale, Henry. Absolutely brilliant. I'm almost sad that Tsurus are gone. No more surprises.
I know, right? There's a quietness now, but the memories and the mustachioed flamingos definitely live on. It's given us all a good laugh and a great story. So, if you ever hear a giggle coming from a tree, maybe don't jump to conclusions, Lily. It might just be a tsuru on an adventure.
I'll keep that in mind, Henry. I'll keep that in mind. Who knows what delightful mischief is just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for sharing that absolutely wild story with us today. It truly was unforgettable.
My pleasure, Lily. And to everyone listening, keep your eyes and ears open. You never know what playful joker might be hiding in plain sight. We'll catch you next time.